Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Let's get ready to be at our best now. Be at our best.
Yeah, it's going to be a boring one today.
Those guys don't all suck.
You son of a B!
ASAP, any score, any place, you know we bring well. We bout there, we'll pull up on anybody and get it done.
Suck it, Raiders.
He is dead.
I love you, Jay. Bye.
Joe, start fast.
They're the next team on our schedule, and we're trying to do something big here. We're trying to win a Super Bowl.
Another beautiful day.
It is.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wooldog, sitting with my two brothers, Kev Huggin Duggan.
What's up, guys?
And Kyle the Coach Duggan.
We're back.
We're back, and we've got, a little bit to talk about. There's always something to talk about, folks, and we just had the schedule come out, and so we'll dive a little bit into that. There's been a little bit of news going on behind the scenes in Charger Central. But before all that, obviously, we got to talk about what's been going on in our lives. So, Kev, what you got for us?
So the best thing that's happened to me in the last couple of weeks is I got a package in the mail the other week, and it was unexpected, and it was from Mr. Wooldog, and I opened this package to find a Chargers face mask for my COVID needs. So I am fully COVID protected, walking around and rubbing Chargers all over these Chiefs fans. So I believe that was your Mama Wooldog that hooked us up. Is that correct?
That
Mr.
was
Wooldog?
Mama Wooldog. Absolutely. She pulled up one day and said, I got something for you. I said, what do you got there, Mama Wooldog? And she flashed some face masks at me, and my dad put one on immediately and started showing how it goes. So yeah, Mama Wooldog made us all some face masks, sent them out to my brothers in other states, and they're wearing it proudly.
Mama Wooldog's a saint.
She is the best. I'm gonna wear this the rest of the podcast just to be safe. So just bear with me. I might not sound normal.
No, don't do
That's
it.
fine.
Let's do it, guys.
No, don't do it.
We got to be safe. Better safe than sorry. You never know what might happen in the basement of Huggin Duggan.
I feel safer already, boys. Already safer.
You look so stupid right now.
Shut up. It looks amazing.
At least it covers up that beard.
I might look stupid, but this looks amazing.
Right. And it's reversible.
The mask is amazing, but
It
you're in your
reversible.
basement alone. You look like what's his face, the GM of the Giants during the draft.
Yeah, so I don't go out very often. I still want to wear it. It's like I'm proud.
It's like an
that Mama
accessory.
Wooldog sent me this. My wife comes in. I'm in my office working. I'm like, hey, what's up, sweetheart? What's going on? Like, why are you wearing that? I don't know. Be safe. I'm trying to be safe.
To be cooler.
Yeah, wearing sunglasses in the house. It's like wearing your mask.
Right.
You just want to look cool.
I wear my face mask all day so I can. What's up with you, Kyle?
All right. Good transition, dude.
Excellent segue.
I also got my mask, so I've been looking for any opportunity to go to the store, just to rep the Chargers. One day I went into the store and I had a Chargers shirt, a Chargers hat, my Chargers face mask, and then just like basketball shorts on. And I was like, wow, I look like a absolute buffoon right now.
You're a walking billboard. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much same old, man. Just praying that we get through this quickly and we can go back. I know some states are already starting to open up and kind of the different phases. So we're slowly but surely getting there. Hopefully it just gets there before middle of September so we can watch some football.
No, before Hard Knocks, dude. We want to watch Hard Knocks.
Well,
I
it
don't
can't
know.
be an all virtual Hard Knocks.
So if we're like halfway through, that's what I was gonna say. It's like if we're not like at the point where everyone's freed, but like we're in like phase 3 where you can meet in small gatherings. I think we probably still get a Hard Knocks. I mean, I think people would still watch that. HBO would still be about it. No.
Right.
Oh yeah, dude! You're looking at how many people are watching this Michael Jordan documentary on ESPN right now. It's like insane. It's like every Sunday when they air it, it's like everyone and their mom is watching it. So, we give us any kind of awesome sports, we're gonna watch it.
Right.
Sure. And what better way to document a situation that we're going through right now that we've never gone through in our lifetime than on Hard Knocks? So. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but appreciate you guys wearing those face masks, trying to get as many fans as we can. Obviously, it's made some progress. I think Chargers are the second highest in increase in ticket sales So I
Yeah, that
thank
was
Mama
crazy.
Wooldog for those face masks. That's all Mama Wooldog, baby.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Thanks, Mama Wooldog.
And me, the walking billboard.
That's right. It takes us wearing it. So.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, like we said, the schedule came out tentatively. Fingers crossed that we get through this. So preseason, we're looking at the Cowboys, the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. Regular season, we start week 1 off by kicking the newest first draft quarterback in the teeth
Yes.
against the Bengals.
Dude, I'm excited about that game.
That's a
I
pretty
am
sweet
too.
way to start this bad boy out, in all honesty.
Although last year we did not have a great track record against new quarterbacks. It seemed like every week we got a backup. It was like, oh, sweet, we got a backup. Like, we're going to dominate. And boom, they come out and have like a career game. And like they've signed huge contracts now because they played so well against us.
This is the reset year. They come out with the new guy that is supposed to be the best quarterback since sliced bread. And then we just shut him down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we score. It's like a 7-3 win. That's what I'm looking for.
It better not. Although giving up 3 points on defense would be pretty solid week 1.
That'd be pretty solid.
That would
sick.
be. That would be insane.
I'm just looking to win this year. I'm not looking to like blow people out. My predictions per game are not going to be like they were last year.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to win in any way possible that we can.
I'll be sure to reference that soundbite as we get further in the season. Week
shit.
2, we fight against the Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs.
First SoFi game versus the Chiefs.
That'll be
That's
the
pretty
first
sweet.
SoFi game. That's true. Yeah, that'll be the first home game in the new stadium, hopefully with people in it. We'll find out. Carolina Panthers, week 3. Tampa Bay Bucks, week 4.
Ooh, Mr.
At
Brady.
Tampa
That's
Bay.
gonna be a
Brady
good one.
coming. Or we're going
there.
to Mr. Brady.
Yeah.
Guys, did you see that the Bucks got like 5 primetime games this year? It's like
Yeah,
that's how many
of
they've
course
had.
they did.
That's how many they've had over like the last 4 seasons.
It's dude,
crazy.
It's a different thing that like those players are going to be in such the limelight now. Well, it'll be interesting to see how they handle the pressure and like the constant media ridiculousness, you know?
Let's see. Our Monday night game comes after Tampa Bay against New Orleans, in New Orleans.
That's who do you think is going to be the quarterback at that point in time? Do you think Drew Brees is still going to be playing, or what do you think?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Drew Brees, you mean for the Chargers or for the Saints?
For the Saints, do you think Drew Brees is? I don't think Drew Brees is going to make it through a full season.
You think he's going to get hurt?
I don't know. I just don't feel like he's going to be playing. I think it's going to be Jameis. We're going to be playing Jameis Winston.
Papa Dave is listening to this right now, just livid. Kathy is downstairs scared to death because Dave is screaming right now.
It's my proclamation.
There's no way, dude. Jameis is there to learn for a year. He's not playing any football. Yeah, that game, that's weird to me that got us on primetime because I don't know, like, I guess their thought is that maybe Herbert's playing by then. So then it's like the young gun against the old vet. But of all the games, that just, why wouldn't you have put one of our divisional games in the primetime slot like that week 2 against the Chiefs? Make that
Makes
Monday
sense.
night, you know? Like,
And why is this in New Orleans and not in our brand new stadium?
we
Like,
have 0 primetime games at home.
Yeah.
Makes no.
that's
The
so
only thing
dumb.
it tells to me is they're still scared that the Chargers aren't going to be able to fill a stadium with fans because they don't want that look anymore on the NFL. You know, they don't want to see that. But
That's a good point.
I think that now with the ticket prices being what they are compared to what they were and being in a brand new stadium and having new guys on the team, I think there's just an increased excitement about the Chargers in general. And with the Rams coming out with that dog crap logo, I think they lost a couple of fans just on that. So
Well, I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter. There's a lot of new Twitter Charger accounts, a lot of new fans I'm seeing popping up, talking. They're, just kind of engaging. So maybe this is just
Absolutely.
a big reset year. It's exciting. There's a new quarterback coming in. Our defense is going to be, just dominant. So who knows? Like it could. I think that's why we got to start off strong and keep it going. I think we'll just grab more fans as we go.
You know why? I just looked it up. The Rams have 2 primetime games at SoFi Stadium. They couldn't give us one. So
Sons of
that's
bitches.
why. That's
So
what happens
stupid.
when you're sharing stadiums, folks. You
Yeah,
gotta
this
share
is going to
prime
take a little
time.
getting used to sharing a stadium with the Rams.
Well, and technically they own it. I mean, we'd pay squat
Whatever,
to build
we're
that
paying
thing.
rent.
Right, we're
paying
still
rent. We have
occupying
just as
space.
much right to that stadium as they do.
Our rent
Right.
is like $40 a year or something.
No, it isn't.
I swear to God, it's something ludicrous that was built into the contract that was like just because they had to basically force them. Let me keep talking. Let me look it up.
Oh my God! If that's the case, our organization's genius.
Well, that was like the big draw. Okay. So LA Times, it says, while much has been made of the Chargers paying $1 per year to rent the stadium, the Rams will be paying the same amount. While Kroenke controls Stadco LA LLC, the Chargers are more partners than tenants in the stadium. Each team is paying $200 million for their NFL G4 loan toward the stadium. Oh, okay. So
Yeah, dude, it's our stadium just as much as theirs.
Hey, a-hole, chill.
Whoa, I'm just getting fired up.
Yeah, a little too fired up. I didn't
He's had
come
too many
I didn't-
strong bows.
Yeah, I didn't come accusing you of anything. I just mispronounced what the rent was going to be. And technically,
Good work,
I was
Kyle.
right. Technically,
you're right. It
they're
was
paying
$1.
$1 a year in rent, but they're having to pay this G4 loan to the NFL to build it. So
That's
whatever.
messed up. It's like, hey guys, rent's $1, but taxes $200 million.
Yeah.
That's on you. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, that sucks that we didn't get any primetime games because
Nope.
I can't, it's hard for me with I work on Sundays. I can't go to games unless they're Sunday nights or Monday or Thursday. And we have none of those at the stadium. Every game that we have is Sunday at 1. So hopefully we get a preseason game that's on like a Thursday or something and I can go up to that.
That would be
And
sweet.
maybe I have to miss work if you guys come in town.
Well, I think we should look at this and then decide on a game we all go to. We need to figure this shit out. One game
We do.
at SoFi. Let's figure it out.
Figure
That
it
would
out.
be nice. So, to continue with the schedule, let's see. So after the Saints was the Jets, then Miami playing
Ooh,
at Miami
Tua.
with Tua.
He won't be playing by then. He'll be hurt. He'll be down.
We'll see.
I
Or he won't even be starting at this point.
I don't know that he'll be starting, man. Like,
Fitz magic.
he's such a fragile dude. I don't know if they've got the O-line to protect him, honestly. Like, I think if they put him in to start over Fitzpatrick, I think he takes one bad hit and it's lights out for the rest of the year.
I wonder if like my like love for Tua before we drafted him is gonna just really flip me hard to the dark side on him and just
It
hate
is.
him now.
It already has.
Because like I just realized that I just said like he's gonna be hurt by then, but like that's kind of mean. Like why did I say that? I think I just hate him. I think I just hate him because he's not a Charger. I think
now
that's
he's
the
not a
fact.
Charger. So yeah, there's just
Yeah.
a built-in. I don't like you as much.
Deal. Okay, cool. I feel good about it.
All right, moving on. Jacksonville Jaguars after that. And then our first game against the Raiders
At
in
home.
November, week 9. It'll be at SoFi Stadium, so we'll play them at home first. Then we get a bye week on 10. Then we play at Denver the following week, at Buffalo the week after. Then we bring the New England Patriots home and Atlanta Falcons at home. Then we take it to the Raiders for Thursday night football, just a few days before Christmas.
That's
What a
pretty
gift
sweet.
that'll be.
That'd be fun.
And then the Denver Broncos after that and Kansas City after that. So 3 of our divisional games are the last 3 weeks of the
Back
season.
to back. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's gonna be a big dude. That's you have to finish strong. You know, whoever's gonna be the healthiest
Have
team,
to.
there's a good chance that, you know, if we can roll through our last 3 games, we'll be able to lock something down.
Well, we'll find out which game we'll be going to this year, folks. Hopefully it'll be at least one of them. We'll find out because, I mean, there might not be any fans in any of these stadiums. It's really going to be a test of time to find out who ends up going to these games. Is it going to be just teams? Is it teams and personnel? Is it fans going to be included in that? I don't know.
It was kind of interesting. I was reading an article just before we started where they're talking about potentially they want fans in the stadium so bad that they're willing to postpone the season till October. So the games would
Wow.
start in October. So, you know,
That's
it's
crazy.
basically pushing it a month, and then you're basically just going to have a lot of snow games. I wouldn't be that mad at it. You're going to have a lot of winter, really fun northern games. So, I don't know. I want to go to games. I don't want to just be able to have to stay home and watch them from here. I'd love the at least the option of being able to go.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
So the way it'll work is if, let's say we start week 4, we won't play the Cincinnati Bengals week 4. We'll play, as we're scheduled, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then potentially after we play the Kansas City Chiefs, we'll go back to playing the Bengals and then the Chiefs and then the Panthers.
I heard that was the option if they needed to just postpone it a few weeks, as opposed to delaying the whole start. They'll just pick it up on the week that we should be playing and then just shift those last 3 games to the end, which would be interesting if that happened because we'd play Kansas City twice within 3 games, which is kind of crazy.
That's a nail biter for sure.
Yeah.
Whew. All right. Well, there you go, folks. And I don't know if you guys saw the way that the Chargers, everybody seemed to have a unique way of telling their story for the schedule. Chargers donated money to those that were fighting on the front lines, nurses, those that are essential employees and workers, donated money for them to get their groceries and allowed them to announce the schedule, which was very classy, very sweet.
I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be kind of jokestery for that, but
that's what our social media team has been doing. Yeah,
they're handling it really well, but they did do, I'm not sure if you were going to get to this, the Pop-Tarts. Did you guys see the Pop-Tarts?
I did see the Pop-Tarts.
Oh my God, Kyle, you got to look it up. Basically, they compared each one of our teams to a flavor of Pop-Tart.
Wait, our opponents?
Our opponents, yes.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
Based
our
on
opponents
their
to a
color
flavor
scheme.
of Pop-Tart. It's
that's
absolutely
awesome.
amazing.
That's so funny.
Like they're on fire.
I've been too busy looking up murder hornets. I didn't quite get to the Pop-Tarts. You guys see those murder hornets?
Yeah, they're
Where are they?
Dude? They're in Washington State. They decapitate bees and then they take their bodies back to feed to their young. And they can obliterate a hive in like 30 minutes. This world is just out of control right now.
This year has been crazy.
Just shut down 2020, but let sports happen. Everything else shut it down.
As long as there's no murder hornets.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting ways that schedules were being released. I saw Titans had a cartoon that was actually pretty cool, and I saw the Detroit Lions used Animal Crossing to announce their schedules. So yeah, the one time you would think our social media team would take it in a funny route, we end up getting a little real and getting personal.
Yeah.
But that's all right. We got to do that every now and then.
But that's the thing. When they zig, we zag.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
Always funny, and then these people are like trying to be funny like us,
Yeah.
and we're like, now's not the time to be funny. We're gonna be sentimental and dope.
The Chargers
and give
social
out
media
money.
is so funny. We need to keep up. And then we go like very sentimental and make them look like a bunch of dorks by making funny things in a very serious situation.
Exactly.
We're trends. Our social media is trend setting right now.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. So and they're zigzagging, and I like it.
That's right. We're like Keenan Allen. We're breaking ankles by.
Oh, dude, they run. Our social media runs the best routes.
Route
dude.
runners. Yeah. Just route runners.
They can run the whole tree.
Love it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we progress. As Kyle mentioned, states are slowly starting to open. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. I would love nothing more than for everything to go that way. Time will tell. As it stands right now, the NFL has set some protocols for reopening some of these facilities. So we can have some of the players actually get in and start, practicing. That's really going to be key. What were some of those things, Kev, that we saw that NFL is going to be asking teams to do?
So it was like, it's just pretty straightforward stuff. It all kind of comes down to when the cities open up and allow people actually to get back to these facilities where you need a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But like the first one was like the local state government officials must consent to it opening. And then each person returning to the facility will go through some kind of safety training just to protect themselves. I guess it's like a formality.
Sure. Liability.
Everyone's got to wear face coverings, which will make practice really interesting. I really want to see what that's going to look like on Hard Knocks when all the players are wearing helmets and their face masks. I don't know if that's what this means, but that's what I'm taking it as because it's funny to think about.
I wonder if they just add something onto their helmet that like has extra like their face mask is like super intense, like a shield, almost like a fighter pilot mask.
And then they
Oh,
all
yeah.
hyperventilate and fall over.
No, they just have they have perfect dude, come on, it's 2020. Let's go. They're going to be able to figure
They
out
have
how
the
to get air
technology.
in
They have little rip cords that they pull, like little
Yeah.
ejector seats that just fly off to the sidelines.
to get
They're all
oxygen.
playing with
yeah.
scuba tanks.
They all just hold their breath during the play and then run to the sideline and put oxygen masks on.
Dude, that's like oxygen training where you deprive your body of oxygen. Maybe it'll just make us stronger practicing in masks. So
That'll be interesting.
there's that. Then limited number of people can be at the facility. They say only 75 will be allowed. And then every day when a player, before they come to the facility, they have to take their temperature and report it. So we'll see how that works. You know, it's good to have them in place. I have a feeling a lot of these players are just going to throw the shit out the window once they like give them the, ability to get into the facility. It's not going to matter to them. That's just kind of my.
They have to. They
I'm
better.
seeing it. Well, they do, but I'm seeing it right now. I live in Missouri. They just opened up on Tuesday, and it's like nothing had changed. So,
yeah, but here's the
we'll
problem: if they treat it like that, it'll get shut down immediately. That's what happened here in California. Or in San Diego, at least, they opened up some of the beaches. People went out and acted like idiots, and they shut everything down. So, like, if the athletes do that, then we're all going to be missing out, because then the NFL will be like, okay, well, we can't handle this. We're not able to get on top of this. Let's shut it down. But I have seen, so like in other professional sporting, it's already coming back. Like a lot of the soccer in Europe, there's like the German league is starting next Saturday. So they're already playing. They don't have fans, but they're playing. And then
Germans.
a lot of the big leagues are already having practices. Like even MLS here in the States is having practice where it's very similar to the protocol NFL put in, where you go, you have to get your temperature taken, and it's in small squads. So like it'll be like one guy working out on his own with a coach, but at least you have some kind of interaction there. So I think that the fact that soccer is already starting right now, it leads me to believe, unless some other crazy relapse of cases happens, we should be looking good for August, like training camp.
Well, and I was looking at it, and I think like I think the closest thing we had to this is not a pandemic, but the closest thing that happened was like this was the holdout in 2011, where the start of the season was so in jeopardy of not happening because the holdout was happening. And then basically all the players reported July 30th, which was like 2 weeks before the first preseason game. So I think that's just a rough date to kind of keep your eye on, of like mid-July, because like there's precedent set. Like a season can still happen when they report that late. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's still a precedent. So keeping that in mind, that season, like there were more like blown Achilles and people injured and all this stuff than ever before, just because the guys weren't like built up to it. But that's the risk you run. So hopefully it doesn't happen like that. But I think that's something to keep your eye on, is like a precedent that was set was July 30th in 2011, and we still had a season.
Right. And that's still 2.5 months away.
Yeah, it's still plenty of time. So hopefully people are smart and they keep the social distancing so we don't get crazy spikes, and we can have football. Because you guys, let's just be honest, that's all we want in life right now, is to have a football season and be able to see our new Chargers in our new stadium and
go back to work.
Well, yeah, I guess. But yeah, go back to work. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
Football.
It'll be interesting to see what happens, because I can guarantee that there's going to be some diva football player that thinks they're bigger than any of this that's going on right now, or even doesn't believe what's going on right now, and is going to treat it like a joke. And I'm sure the NFL will probably find them, but it'll be interesting to see what actually happens, because I don't think everybody's going to be perfect. I wish everybody would be, because then it would just make everything easier and we can all just get back to doing what we love. But I guarantee you somebody's going to screw it up, and I'm really going to be curious to see how the NFL handles it, and if anybody else steps in to basically force, like Roger Goodell's hand, to impose some kind of punishment for those that don't follow the rules. There's just way too many people, process of elimination, the numbers are there that at least one person is going to be a pain in the dick. So we'll find out as the season progresses. So that was the biggest news. Of obviously our schedule came out, and there's still some to be determines in there, folks. So as we get more information on that schedule, we will share it with you as we have our episodes. But as far as what's been going on in Chargers specifically behind the scenes, stadium is slowly coming together, and they got their new, boy, I always want to call it a Jumbotron, but that's not what this puppy is. This thing is special. What is it called, Kev?
It's the Oculus board.
Oculus board.
Insane. Somebody that was like working there put up a video of what it looked like, and it was amazing. First thing I loved about it is that the Chargers were the first logo. It goes left to right, and it's Chargers then Rams. It's just I like
subtle
that.
subtlety.
Your
I like
eyes,
it.
You know, when you're reading a book, it goes from left to right.
Yes,
I'm just thinking Chargers to Rams.
Yeah.
I thought that looked super awesome, and I just can't wait to see it in person. It looks so massive.
I know, it's like when I see pictures and like videos of it, it almost looks like too big, like overwhelmingly gigantic, and I'm like,
That's what she
I'm not
said.
gonna. Oh, okay. About what? Not to you. Who is she talking to?
Yeah.
The Oculus.
Who was she?
Yeah.
How would you know, Kyle?
We're brothers.
Yeah, genetics. So you have
genetics.
it too. Deal.
I'm aware.
You haven't.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about the Oculus. I can't think of anything that I can say that he can't turn on me right now.
No, I
Wow,
know.
that exploded. That was a fun start and just exploded. At the
It
end.
just
That's what
crashed
she
and
said.
burned. No, it's an interesting monitor, for lack of a better term. It's just this like halo. It's got video screens on both sides, so I don't know how it's going to function. I'm curious to see it when the stadium actually starts running it, for plays and stuff.
It's funny to think about like the contrast between Qualcomm Stadium.
You remember that squared screen?
If
It was
you
so
were,
shitty.
God.
if you
It was
were
like
on
made
one
out of,
side
like,
of the
light
stadium,
bulbs.
Yes.
if you were on
couldn't
one
see
side of
anything.
the stadium, all you had was that tiny. I think the TV in my house is bigger than what was on like the west side of the stadium. That
I
tiny
love
little
that.
screen. There was no point in even looking up there. You couldn't see
No.
anything.
No, you could look to see like how many timeouts were left or
Yeah.
how much, what quarter are we in?
Yeah.
That was
With
essentially
your
dude,
binoculars.
Right.
It was like a whole bunch of like light bulbs that were put together really closely
Yeah.
with different colors. It was like
Yeah.
It was
you
classic.
couldn't tell. It was just blobs.
It was
moving.
classic.
And,
It was
and now
classic.
you've got like super high definition.
Yeah.
I
I feel
the
like
size of the
Qualcomm
field.
is like what you tell your kids about, and this new stadium is like their stadium.
it's
you
like-
know, like
It's like when I
modern
went to
and-
school, I used to walk 20 miles in the snow. Like that's what Qualcomm was
uphill
like.
both ways. Yeah.
Yeah, now the kids are getting rides in, they're self-driving cars. That's like that's
Spaceships.
the deal. Yeah,
And
Their
Heelys.
lifts, driving their scooters. Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah.
I don't know what happened in this
crazy.
world.
Faster.
Yeah.
Less snow.
It's crazy. Smiley faces for mascots.
Smiley faces. Ah, God, I don't even want
God.
to talk about it.
I still love that. You guys, you need to calm down.
No,
a little,
I
'cause
like
that shit is good.
I like it.
kidding.
We were going in the old school train of thought. Chill.
Right. Yeah.
Strongbow.
it's called a joke. Let's see. We also signed Mike Will to his 5th-year option. Good to keep him around. I think it's going to be interesting though. I've seen some conversation in regards to signing some of these players to their 5th-year options on what the potential is going to be for the cap adjusting as a result of what's happening this year and potentially further on. There's a lot of teams that didn't pick up 5th-year options on their players. And I mean, I'm glad that we did. Mike Williams is an absolute stud, and I'm really curious to see how he plays with either one of our new quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, it's like the 5th-year option. I don't get. So if you don't sign them to the 5th-year option, either you think they're not going to play well, and you can still keep them for less, or you've moved on. Because usually a 5th-year option is going to be. It's like you get like a loyalty year. Like you get a cheaper year than what. Like if Mike Williams was a free agent next year, he could probably get more than he's going to get on his 5th-year option.
Right.
But so like if you're not signing them to a 5th-year option, for instance, Mitch Trubisky for the Bears, they didn't take his 5th-year option.
Right.
So everyone knows, okay, he's done. Like you're not going to, especially at the quarterback position, like if you don't pick up a 5th-year option, that's like an extra rookie contract year.
Right.
That if you don't take that, now he's going to get, if he has a good year, he's going to make big bucks somewhere.
Yeah.
So Mike Williams, that's giving him a 5th year. That's big, especially because of the people we need to pay next year.
Exactly.
And I loved it too because he came out and said that he wants to finish his career in Los Angeles. It was very straightforward, a clean cut. Like you don't get a lot of guys on our rosters in the past saying that kind of stuff. So that really pumped me up. I was really happy with that comment.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually people, they try to stay so unbiased, these players. Like they don't want to ruffle any feathers of anyone. They say, I'm happy where I'm at, blah, blah, blah. But they don't usually say, I want to finish unless they're like a vet, like a Phil or a Tom Brady, which neither of them are going to. But unless you're like a vet like that, you don't normally
or
come
a
out and say
running
that.
back that sits out for most of the year.
Yeah, gets paid shit money the following year.
All right, going back to the schedule, the game that I can't wait to watch is that Broncos game in LA.
There you go.
Oh, dude, just smash that guy. I hope he gets like 15 yards total.
Oh, God. And
Or they pull
fumbles
him and
3
put in
times
Lindsey
at the
for the
goal
whole
line.
game. Oh, yeah. Fumbles on the goal line. That'd be sick.
Oh,
I just
that'd be
watched a really
hilarious.
fun stat of like a really fun highlight of Bosa taking a fumble from Gordon in college and running it back to the house.
Oh,
And I was like, you know what? That could happen this year. This
history
could be nice.
repeats itself.
Fumble Rooski over there. Good
Got
riddance.
2 chances. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. As far as other new names we've got, obviously Shane Steichen was promoted to the offensive coordinator officially. So somebody had to take the quarterback coach position, and that was Mr. Pep Hamilton. What did you guys find out about him?
One thing that I do like about Pep, just kind of looking at his resume, is he's served in every offensive position as a coach. He's been a QB coach, he's been a coordinator, and he's been a head coach. So he's served at all 3 levels. And I don't think that I would have thought as much about that being significant if I hadn't done the same. Before I was a head coach, I used to critique the head coach. I used to be like, why are you doing it this way? Why aren't you doing it that way? You should do this. You should do that. And you kind of think that you know more than you do. But then when you go up and serve in that position, you understand everything that's going on in a broader sense. So then to step into a position coach, you know your role. You know, I'm here to support my coordinator and my head coach in any way possible. So I think that he has a good round, and he just took on his first head coaching job within the XFL this year. So you have a much broader, rounded idea of what goes into being a good assistant. So I think it obviously speaks a lot to what he's going to bring, hopefully, but also he's coached in a lot of different coaching systems. Most coaches, when they get in with, so like if say you're an assistant coach, when you get in with the head coach, you just stay with them, and wherever they go, you go. So and your head coach kind of has his guys that always go with him. So it doesn't seem like he's had that. He's kind of jumped around. I don't know if that means he doesn't have extreme loyalties to a coach, but it also just tells me that he's seen it done a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. He's seen a lot of head coaches work a lot of different ways, and I'm sure in the interview process he knew exactly what he was looking for in a head coach and kind of who he wanted to work for. So I think I'm excited for him to have the opportunity to work with us. He's a veteran NFL coach. This is not his first gig. He's been in the NFL for 20 something years.
He's a road warrior,
primarily as a quarterback coach. So I'm excited. I think it's a great opportunity for him, but I think he'll work well. I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, and to go off kind of what you mentioned, the XFL thing, his head coaching. First head coaching job was with the DC Defenders, and guess who was the quarterback of the DC Defenders? Mr. Cardell Jones. So we have a connection. We have a connection with him. I guarantee you they're not calling Cardell Jones to be like, how's he doing? Should we bring him in at QB coach?
Right.
But I just thought that was interesting.
Cardell's going to see that call coming in. Reject
over it. And I also like the fact that he was a college coach recently. He hasn't just been an NFL coach, he was with Michigan for 2 years. So maybe that will help him in kind of, cause I don't know. I'd imagine coaching at those levels are different. It's like, telling these college kids what to do, where to be, how to do this, how to do that. And then dealing with professionals where they're like, I make way more than you. Here's the middle finger. Like there's like a change for that. So the fact that he was a college coach recently, I think helps a lot with a new quarterback coming in, a fresh quarterback straight out of college, could be a good perspective that he might have to help him get acclimated. So,
Right.
that might be a reach. That take might be a reach, but
It's a possibility.
who knows?
Yeah.
Sounds like a well-rounded individual, perfect to have in the position to deal with our quarterback situation. It's really going to be interesting to see how it all pans out. And speaking of which, we've got a fan focus who reached out to us with a question that kind of relates to what's going on with our quarterback situation. So who do we got this week, Kev?
We got Tristan from Los Angeles.
Tristan from Los Angeles, my man. What do you got for us?
What's up, Charger Chat? Love you guys. Love the page. I got some questions for you. First, how long until Tyrod Taylor takes a backseat to Justin Herbert? I mean, assuming we come out hot, we win a bunch of games, they're not going to change it. But say we start out, kind of sluggish. What if we start out 3-3, kind of behind typical Charger fashion? Do we let Herbert come in at halftime of a game, or do we let Herbert start the next game? Next question I have is, does our defense feel any pressure going into this season? Thanks, guys.
All right. Two-parter. Thank you, Tristan. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate the call and the recording you sent us.
Absolutely. So question number one, how quickly do we see Herbert? It's Tyrod's position to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So the ball is in his court, but I feel as much as we want to be, couch coaches and decide what, every player should be doing and how they should be playing. I feel that Anthony Lynn is the type of coach that doesn't change horses midstream or lets one bad game go by to have a knee-jerk reaction to bring in a fresh new quarterback. I'm going to make the prediction that regardless of how the Chargers play, unless we go 0-8, that we will not see Justin Herbert play outside of preseason. That's my guess. Unless we just truly just nosedive, I don't see us. I see Anthony Lynn being the type of coach that has already stated that, it's Tyrod's position. He is the number one quarterback. Obviously, they're going to see how things go in preseason. And I mean, that's the opportunity to make the decision on really who's going to be your starting quarterback.
Yeah.
So unless Tyrod just totally shits the bed and we go 0-8, I don't see Herbert playing this year or get an injury. I'll say that too. I'll throw that in there.
I think so. It's just hard. I think with the comments they made before the draft, I would have been 100%. I would have completely agreed. If we would have drafted a quarterback in the second or third round, I think if we pick up a Jalen Hurts, I think that's true. I think there's no way they leave Tyrod. I think if you pick a quarterback 6th overall I honestly, when I looked at the schedule just now, so I think that if we're under 500 after that game against New Orleans, because you have a game against Kansas City divisional game, Kansas City.
Get the cabbage.
And then you have week 4, we play Tampa Bay. That's big time against Tom Brady. Week 5 against New Orleans. That's against Drew Brees. Then you have this little window here, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Jaguars, and the Raiders. That 4-week, I think if by week 5 after we play the Saints, I think if Tyrod's not playing well, I think it's realistic to say that Herbert might get a shot in that little window there that's against not perennial powerhouse organizations. I think if they're 2-3 after week 5 and Tyrod's not getting it done and we're only winning games because our defense is just hitting shutouts, I think there's definitely a chance before the end of the year that Herbert, and it's all because he got drafted 6th overall. I think that you just don't use that pick on a quarterback unless you think that he's going to be able to contribute soon. But like you said, I think it's still too early to say for sure. We don't know really anything about how he's really going to pick up things. So I think if he has a great preseason, I think after that New Orleans game, come week 6, I think if Tyrod doesn't put up, then I think it could very well be Herbert. And also, that's not to say that Tyrod doesn't get hurt. That's exactly what happened to him in Cleveland.
Right, exactly.
If he got, but barring injury, I think there's still a shot that we see Herbert here. And I think that week 5 game against the Saints is going to be because that's a Super Bowl contender. If we can't compete with them, then we may need to look to see if there's some other opportunity on the roster to be able to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to combo the questions because I think the second one was like, is there extra pressure on our defense? I think there is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our defense is going to play so well this year that it's going to hide any maybe early hiccups that Tyrod's going to have. I think they're going to play so well, and we're going to have a strong running game. We're going to be able to control the clock. I don't think it's going to need to be huge 350-yard passing games, throwing it 17, 18 times a game. I don't think you're going to need that Phillip Rivers style. I think we're going to control the clock a lot more this year than we have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I think the defense is going to Tyrod Taylor, I feel like after the season is going to owe the defense like Lamborghinis. Like each one of those players is going to get a Lamborghini. His success is based on how well our defense is going to play. Because I think he could do extremely well. But having a defense that he has right now, he's never had that in his career. So I don't want to see Justin. I want to see Justin Herbert play because he's the new shiny toy. I don't want to see him play because I want him to have a full year of development. So that way, dude, imagine winning a Super Bowl with Tyrod Taylor, being able to sell off Taylor and Herbert to step in and what we could get back for Taylor. Like there's just a lot of good things that can come from that. So we'll see. But that was my kind of interpretation and combining those questions because I think that the defense, man, they're going to be huge to this team this year.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I just think you can't base a quarterback success on a defense doing well. You know, like that's just not the game that we play anymore. That's not the NFL anymore. You can have a great defense and still not be able to make it happen in the playoffs. I mean, when we played the Ravens 2 years ago in the first round of the playoffs, they had the best defense in the league. And we still went in there and beat them because their offense laid an egg because they were this running offense that wasn't oiled. And we went in there and smacked them. This game, who won the Super Bowl last year? The Chiefs, because they have the best offense in the league. Those are the teams that win. So I just don't think that if the defense is playing well, but Tyrod's throwing 7 of 14 and 120 yards and we're scoring 10 points a game, I don't think that he is still the guy. Even if we are like 3-2 after that week 5 game, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I just think that I wish that it was that way. I wish that it was the old school. You have a great defense in possession, but especially when we play the Chiefs twice a year. If we want to get in the playoffs, we got to beat them. Right. We got to be able to keep up and score with them. Even if you have a great defense, they score on great defenses. So
we'll find out. The problem we've had with the Chiefs in the past is turnovers. So let's put somebody in there that doesn't throw tons of picks. See how that changes the game flow.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to disparage
the way you
boy.
said it, though.
The way
man.
you said it was just disrespectful.
Okay, hold on. Let me rewind the tape. So what I think the best point is that he might not throw as many interceptions. And then we might have a better game flow again.
It still doesn't feel right.
All right.
It's tainted now.
I'm going back.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with you, Kyle. That's all I got. That's my third reverse. That's all I have.
Okay. I win. That was nice.
Those are all fair opinions. I mean, that's all it can be right now is opinions.
Yeah.
We've not really had a chance to see Tyrod be in the driver's seat. We've not had a chance to see Justin Herbert play with a professional team. And with the amount of defensive players that we have that are coming back that are really highly touted, we've still got a lot of players that really haven't had a chance to see much game time. That includes Kenneth Murray, that includes Nasir Adderley, that includes Alohi, I believe. It's not Alohi, it's Alohi.
Sorry.
Alohi. We've still got to see, a lot of these guys get an opportunity to play, and we've lost a lot of our defense and special teams in this offseason. So there's a lot of moving parts that still we have to see how it all plays together. And until they really get an opportunity to even practice, we're not really going to have an idea of what it's going to be. So I think based off of how Anthony Lynn is as a coach and how he just isn't that type of person to change horses midstream, I feel like he would have ridden Eckler throughout the season. I feel like he was forced to bring Melvin Gordon in when he came back from the holdout. He got to sit out one game, and that was basically it. I feel like he would have much rather had Eckler in there. That's just my opinion. But in regards to the defense, we got to see a little bit of video from Mr. Gus Bradley. If you haven't seen it, feel free to go to the Chargers YouTube page, and it's basically, it's like a press conference. Essentially, he's answering questions from a lot of reporters. But he had some interesting things to say that we don't always get to hear from anybody, really, let alone the defensive coordinator of a football team being as candid as he was. What were some of the things that you guys saw that kind of stuck out to you that he answered in regards to our players, in regards to how we performed last season, how we're looking to play this season? Was there anything that stood out to you guys?
Yeah, I loved one of the things that I really loved what Gus said. He was kind of questioned with like, you guys played really well last year with the new pieces. How successful do you think you guys will be? And his response was kind of like, yeah, I know that we were like top 10 defense from statistics, but it didn't feel like that. He was like, there's a lot of areas that I thought that we could have improved on. Third down, conversions, red zone, turnovers. He's like, I think somehow statistically we were a top 10, but it didn't feel like that to us as a coaching staff. And I think most of the fans would agree. Like when I saw that our defense was statistically up there, I was like, really?
I was a little surprised too.
Yeah, it just like when you watch a whole game, it doesn't, I don't know what it is that's slipping through the cracks of the statistics. Maybe it's because, as Kevin said, we turned the ball over too much. And
I didn't say that.
And they had the ball.
I didn't say that because I rewound twice. That never happened.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And maybe the offense had the ball on short field so much that like, yards wise we held them to less, but it didn't feel like. There's some years that I feel like we have an elite defense. Last year I was like, yeah, like we're good, our defense isn't going to lose us the game, but it didn't feel like a top 10 elite defense that's going to carry you. So I love that Gus
James is coming back, baby.
Yeah, for sure. We had a lot of holes last year that like our holes were Derwin James missing, so safety and corner, and we signed Chris Harris and Derwin James is healthy. So it's like, I think that the idea that Gus addressed that, I think is great. Like he knows that there was room to improve. They seem very motivated and excited for moving forward. So yeah, I that was the piece that I took out of the Gus Bradley interview that I really liked.
I just want to address this. Adam just put a background up behind him, and it's Phillip Rivers, and he's just
I couldn't find a more disappointing look of Phillip Rivers to look you in the eye.
Guys, I didn't mean to say it like that. Will you get off my balls? I love Phillip Rivers more than anything, and I love that he just committed to becoming a high school coach as soon as I still follow him religiously. He's going to coach a high school team in Alabama as soon as he retires. So just get off my balls. I love Phillip Rivers. I'm going to go to the Gus. I'm going to take my take on the Gus Bradley thing. I liked what he said about.
Also, side note, I was never on your balls. But go ahead.
All right. All right.
Shut it
flashback
down.
to my childhood where you just wouldn't leave me alone. Just like
needs to
on my
reboot.
ass. Sorry, you weren't on my balls, you're on my ass. Get off my ass. So I like what he was asked a question about kind of the lockout and about the COVID, not practicing and that kind of thing. And he was talking about like he wanted to build a defense that was complicated for the opposing offense, but wasn't complicated for the players themselves. So that way you can get younger players into the game and it's not too fast for them. They can still use their athletic talents, but they're not bogged down on remembering all of the different little intricacies of a complicated defense. I thought that, and that's interesting. And if that's the path, Kenneth Murray, I think he's going to have a great season. I think he can excel if that's the mindset, keeping it simple but being confusing for other offenses. So I kind of like that. And then he's just saying like the build the D with your new guys is, that's how you excel. That's how you catch people off guard. You can't scheme for people you haven't seen. So I think that's kind of an interesting approach. What do you think of that kind of style, Kyle? Because you were a defensive coordinator for so long. How does that comparison work of like being overly complicated?
Yeah. So the saying is you don't want your kids to have, or your players, not kids in the NFL, you don't want them to have paralysis by analysis. So they're thinking about so much pre-snap that they can't go and act. They can't go and just they've been playing football for 20 plus years. Let them go be football players in the NFL. Right. And I think that's what Gus Bradley does really well. When you look at it, what we run is primarily a cover 3. So it's a pretty simple defense. But when you have the athletes, you don't need to make it complicated. Mm-hmm. Who cares if they know where you're going to be? Just be there faster and react quicker than them. So I think we have the athletes to do that. You have the Derwin Jameses and the Kenneth Murrays and the Joey Bosa's and the Melvin Ingrams and the Chris Harris's and the Casey Haywards. Like, we're stacked athletically. Let us be free to go play football. So I think that's what Gus does really great. That's why the Legion of Boom was so good, is because they were crazy athletes and they didn't have to think about too much. They could just go make plays. So that was my philosophy always as a defensive coordinator was, look, guys, we have very simple plays. You better execute. And when you do execute, when you get there, be on fire and ready to knock somebody out, because that's what it allows you to do when you don't have to think too much. You're not scared about messing up. You just go.
Yeah. So that's what I took from him. I love that.
Yeah. I think what was interesting to me, I felt like the interview was really candid. And it's when you're interviewing somebody that's in the position like he is, you expect there to be, either sugar-coated answers, or I'm going to kind of play as I'm going to spin it as if it was a good thing or something to that effect. The thing that I liked about it was the acknowledgement that our first round pick last year of Tillery was kind of a dud. He didn't perform the way that he should have. He didn't rub his nose in it, but he basically said that Tillery kind of showed up and realized that he didn't have the strength to perform professionally, and has seen that he has been progressing on that in the off season by getting stronger, which is great to hear, because that's, as we've all mentioned on Justin Herbert, you expect your first round pick to be able to come in and perform. Tillery didn't do that last year.
Right.
That was a huge disappointment. Yeah. And same thing for Thomas Davis. With him mentioning, we talked about it where it's like, man, Thomas Davis looks slow. And it's not that I didn't believe it, but it was just like, there's got to be something going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing. And for him to acknowledge that, like, yeah, you know what? He was kind of slow. It was refreshing to hear a defensive coordinator be honest about what our shortcomings were last year, and to know that because you can't grow unless you know where you need to get better. Right. And to be candid about that with a group of basically reporters answering those kind of questions, I felt refreshing, and it gave me more confidence in the guy, because he's not acting like, it just wasn't it. We just weren't lucky. That wasn't the answer. The answer was we needed to be better in these positions. And that's what we're focusing on getting better in those positions. So I found it incredibly refreshing to hear him say that.
Yeah.
And I did love, he did say one thing too, that I just like a little anecdote that I loved, where he's like, yeah, we do our Skype meetings with the players and do all this stuff. And like, we can tell them they can come in early. He's like, one of the days, the first person in there was Linval, and we were just hanging out, making jokes, having fun.
Oh, I love it.
Like, I love that. It's
Dude,
the first interaction with that.
Yeah, I think Linval is going to be an absolute stud. I love everything that I've heard about the guy. Is he's a leader. Whenever I listen to like the group interviews they had with all the big free agents that we brought in, he's the one that's talking like the most hyped up, excited, like, let's go play. Like, I'm ready to get on the field. Let's go win a championship. Like, I'm excited about that guy. I think he's going to be a stud. And I think he's going to be really good for the locker room as a whole.
Sorry to steer you too hard, but I remember that last second. I was like,
it was a great point to bring up. Check it out, folks. If you haven't seen it yet, go to the Chargers YouTube page and look up the Gus Bradley interview. It's good to hear, straight from the defensive coordinator's mouth, basically what the plan is going into the offseason, if we have an offseason, and, what we're planning to do going forward. And while you're also on YouTube, don't forget to visit the Charger Chat YouTube page, as we have been increasing our social media presence in the YouTube world. Our Tyrod Taylor video is climbing every day. I am thoroughly impressed with the amount of views that video keeps getting. And there is another video that's coming around the corner that I've lent my abilities to Kevin to create a video called the Three Horsemen of the Boltpocalypse. And while it's not finished yet, we have a little bit of a teaser for you. We're going to play it for you here. Just, put yourself in the mindset of the old days of Super Bowl I and hearing the announcer. He's telling it to you straightforward. He's not sugarcoating it. He's giving you the facts. And it goes a little something like this.
The Chargers banner proudly flies high over its new home of Los Angeles, California. In 2020, the Chargers begin their decade of destiny, attempting to add the crowning glory, the Lombardi Trophy. The Los Angeles Chargers lost their featured hard-nosed runner in Melvin Gordon to division rival, the Denver Donkeys, throwing away tons of money offered by the Chargers in an ill-advised holdout in 2019. K, love you, bye. The Chargers looked to the draft to add a new, powerful back and found just that in local hero, UCLA running back, Joshua Kelly. Mr. Kelly is a quick and physical downhill runner, and his type of old-school football will take its toll on opposing defenses. His skills perfectly complement the running styles of fellow thoroughbreds Justin Jackson and Austin Eckler to form the Three Horsemen of the Boltpocalypse.
So funny. I love it. Okay, love you. Bye.
Let's go.
Hey, love you. Bye. Yeah.
Okay, love you. Bye. So
That's
we're excited
exciting.
to do that. I'm in the middle of it. It's going to be done soon, and we'll get that out so you guys can enjoy it. But it's ridiculous, and I love everything about it. So hope you guys enjoy it when you see it.
For clarification, the Three Horsemen of the Boltpocalypse are our three running backs.
Correct. We are looking at
Thank you
Austin
for spelling
Eckler,
that out.
Justin
Kyle.
I just wanted to
and
make sure
Joshua
that everyone
Kelly.
knew.
Yes.
Just wanted to make
This
sure
one's for
everyone
you,
knew.
Dave.
Three Horsemen of Boltpocalypse, folks. It will be coming to a YouTube near you. Keep an eye on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and any other avenues of social media you watch us on. I'm sure we'll be posting it to Reddit as well. But until then, I think that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any closing remarks, fellas?
Kyle, I thought you had a great show today.
Hats
Thanks,
off to
Kevin.
you, Kyle.
Aw, thank you.
Sure. Good work today.
You too,
Excellent.
Kevin.
We were all sharp.
I don't believe you, but mine was sincere.
As always, folks, don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
You did your voice.
Breaking news, folks. We were sitting around. We were looking at each other and we said, we got to make this happen. If we're going to do this, we got to do this now. We looked at the schedule and we've pulled the trigger, folks. So if you want to say hi to Wooldog, Huggin, and the coach, then you, my friends, need to get tickets to the Atlanta Falcons game.
December
Sunday,
13th.
December 13th at 1:25. We'll be there. I just losing my mind right now. I can't believe I have to wait 7 months.
Week 14, folks, as it stands right now, December 13th, 1:25 Pacific Standard Time.
Oh my God.
We were looking at each other. We were hemming and hawing. I don't know. Should we do it? It happened.
And the reason behind this game, in case you're asking, why are you going to a Falcons game?
Yeah, why the
Well,
Falcons?
Why the
There's
Falcons? What is that all about, Kyle? Tell us.
There happens to be 4 days later on a Thursday,
Short week.
a short week, and the Chargers are playing the Las Vegas Raiders in Vegas at
Question.
the Death Star.
Question.
I think
Can
you mean the
drive
toilet.
from Los Angeles
toilet.
to Las Vegas pretty quickly?
You bet you can.
I
Oh.
believe that's a
Huggin.
drivable distance.
Oh, okay. Oh, so.
So if that was a plan of yours, is to go to the Chargers Raiders game, hit us up. Let's set up some kind of a caravan. Let's get some pregame going. I'm absolutely losing my mind, and I don't know if I can wait 7 months.
Bolt up, baby.
Bolt up, baby. So yeah, I want to see some love. This is going to be, for a lot of us, the first time going to a Chargers game at the SoFi Stadium, and our first time going to a Raiders game at the Toilet Bowl. So it's going to be a hell of a 2020, folks, if we started the way that we have and end the way we're planning. So come say hi.
Baby.
We want to see you. We want to hug you if that's allowed. If not, we'll just wave from a distance.
I'll hug. I'll be wearing a hazmat suit, so just come give me a
I'll
hug.
offer an elbow. Yeah. Oh yeah, hugging. We'll be hugging.
We'll do it in we'll wear those inflatable dinosaur suits. That's how we'll do the
You're
episode.
f***ing right. I'll be hugging.
All right, folks. We just wanted to pipe in with that because we're super excited.
Oh my God, we did it.
Don't forget to bolt up. We're ready for any squad, any place.
Love you, bye.
Get love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Why, Peggy Sue? What's the matter with you? Don't you know there's a pandemic going on? We gotta protect ourselves and others from a heinous breath. What's that? You don't have a face mask? And you wanna let the world know you're a fan of the Los Angeles Chargers? Then, my dear, you need to skip on down to Mama Wooldog's Face Mask Market. The only place in town where Mama Wooldog herself will get you a custom face mask for your mug. We have patterns like the Los Angeles Chargers. So come on down to Mama Wooldog's Face Mask Market so you can do your part to be an upstanding citizen of the world. Stay safe, everyone, and happy Mother's Day!